everyone. Thanks very much for joining. So my name's Julia. I've been working at the University of Auckland for about 3 years. I'm originally from the States, from New York State. So, and I did a study abroad semester when I was back in college as well. So, yeah, can relate a lot to your guys' questions that you might have later. I will try to go through the presentation somewhat quickly, so we have some time to chat afterwards. And let me just share my screen. Okay. All right, so you guys can all see that? Okay, cool. All right, so I'll just start with a little bit about the culture of New Zealand and the people that make up New Zealand. So we have they like to say we're a multicultural country within a bicultural framework. So basically, what that means is we have our Maori indigenous population as well as European settlers that came from the UK back in the early 1800s, and that sort of makes up the framework of the country. But then in the last 100 years or so, we've had a lot of migration from all over the Asia Pacific region. So about a quarter of our population in Auckland is from the Pacific region, and about a quarter is from different Asian countries, particularly China and India. So it's really, really multicultural. It's really diverse. It's really interesting. I know a lot of times some people think, studying abroad at an English speaking country, you won't like experience that culture and difference and diversity, but you really, really will experience something different in New Zealand. Here's a map showing where we are. I like this Pacific Ocean centered map. It shows New Zealand a little bit better and its neighbors and in context in the rest of the world than the Atlantic Ocean centered map, which often cuts New Zealand off entirely. But you can see that we're quite close to Australia. We've got a lot of Pacific Island neighbors, and we also have lots and lots of links with Asia. So we're not as sort of isolated and out in the middle of nowhere as a lot of people think. And then Auckland, we're at the north of the North Island. So we have a nice, warm, mild climate. We're surrounded by water, which is great if you like going to the beach. We've got lots and lots of them. So it's a really beautiful part of the country. So a little bit more about Auckland itself. So we're the largest city in New Zealand. We've got 1.5 million people out of New Zealand's 5 million people. So a big portion of the country's population lives here in Auckland. And again, just a huge diversity of people. Actually, about 40% of Auckland's residents were born overseas. So that's one of the highest percentages of overseas born residents of any city in the world. So it's more than New York City, more than London. So you'll just get to experience lots of different languages and food and festivals and really cool things while you're here. Auckland's also the largest Polynesian city in the world. Which is an interesting fact. So more Pacific Islanders living in Auckland than in any one of the Pacific Islands. Here's some photos of what our city looks like. So as I said, we're surrounded by water. We're on a little isthmus, and we've got two harbors on either side. We've got beautiful beaches on both ends. Our downtown city is right on the waterfront. We've got lots of life in Auckland. Again, as the largest city in New Zealand, you'll have major concerts and shopping and events and all sorts of things happening. But it's not a really overwhelming busy noisy city. It's 1.5 million people still isn't it's not too large in terms of how cities go, and we do have lots of green space and yeah, just areas to relax. So it's, for me, I find it to be the absolute perfect mix. You've got green space, you've got the outdoors, you've got all the natural beauty, but you've got lots of really fun things to go and see and do. So this shows sort of some of the popular tourist sites around New Zealand, and Auckland puts you in a really good position to be able to go and travel and see all the beautiful things that New Zealand has to offer. So within the North Island, Auckland is only about a 2 to 4 hour drive away from lots of different tourist attractions, and so lots of students will go take weekend trips and see some of those things. And then every semester we have a 2 week mid-semester break, so you've got 2 weeks off, and that's when a lot of students take the opportunity to catch a flight down to the South Island and then do a road trip around the South Island and do some hiking and see all the mountains that they have down there. But there's never a shortage of things to do. Our students that come to New Zealand, they're so active. They're always out traveling. Their pictures make us so jealous. So, yeah, you'll have plenty of opportunity to get out and about and see everything. This is a photo of our campus. So our campus really truly is a city campus, which is great. So the city is right at your doorstep, especially, as an international student without a car, you really don't need one where you're here. So, you can walk into the city in 5 to 10 minutes. You've got lots of public transportation networks all around that you can use. Yeah, and everything's right at your fingertips. As you can see, though, our campus, it's been there for a pretty long time in terms of Auckland standards. Auckland's not a super old city, but our campus was founded in 1883, so it's been there for a while, and the city's kind of been built up around it. So you still do, even though it's a city campus, you still do get a little bit of a sense of an actual campus, of sort of a border and some green space, not super tall high rises or things like that. So I think it's a really lovely campus and a great place to be. So this is our Faculty of Science. We have 8 different faculties within our university, and that's what you would call like a school or a department. So this is our main Faculty of Science building. We have about 42,000 students at the university and 5,000 staff, so we are quite large. We're the largest university in New Zealand. We offer over 140 different programs or majors. So in terms of courses to pick from, we've pretty much got just about everything. So it's not too difficult to find a course that meets your degree requirements while you're abroad. These are some of our rankings. So this is actually slightly out of date. So we've actually are ranked 81st in the world. So we're quite a highly ranked university, which is really good. We've got some incredible professors who are top in their field and doing really interesting research. And, they bring that into the classroom and really provide a lot of real world applications to the things that you're learning when you find out about the different projects that they're working on. So that's really cool. And then particularly these subjects, these 13 subjects are ranked top 50 in the world. And a lot of them are like social sciences, so things like anthropology, psychology, linguistics, philosophy, geography. But then also we've got civil engineering and it's like sports science, exercise science. So yeah, some really highly ranked subjects. I'll go over our academic calendar. I don't have next year's up here, sorry, but it'll be similar. But because we're in the Southern Hemisphere, our academic calendar is a little bit different to the Northern Hemisphere. So our spring semester, which is actually the first semester of our academic year, but spring semester, it will begin late February, early March, and it goes until late June. So you'll have some extra time over your Christmas break. A lot of students just come to New Zealand early and they can travel and enjoy our nice summer weather before school starts. And then if you come in the fall, that begins in mid-July and ends in mid-November. So again, you just have to adjust your breaks a little bit. Your summer break will be a little bit short, but then you'll have more time in November, December. And again, students then tend to just stay and do their traveling after the semester and are home by Christmas. So it all works out in the end. So our study abroad program is a direct enroll program. You can either study abroad for 1 or 2 semesters. A typical course load for us is 4 classes. Um, and so those are each worth, it varies, but about 3 or 4 credits back at your home university. Um, our application deadlines are December 1st for spring and May 1st for fall, but you need to make sure you check in with Beth and see what your guys' application deadlines are, because they might be a little bit earlier. And again, just some of our subjects, this slide is really overwhelming, but it just shows all of the different majors and subjects that you can study here. Some of the more popular courses that we offer are ones that are unique to New Zealand that you can't really study anywhere else. So we have a really large Māori Studies department and a Pacific Studies department. So you can take some really cool classes within those departments. And I would say maybe about a third of our study abroad students will end up enrolling in a course in one of those departments. So something we really encourage students to do to get a better understanding of the culture here in New Zealand. We also have some other unique ones around the environment. New Zealand is a big jumping off point for research in Antarctica. So we have a lot of you know, a research knowledge in that area. So we offer lots of courses there. Also, any sort of earth sciences. We do have, sort of earthquake and volcanic activity from time to time. So that's a real area of interest too. And we also have a wine science course that's very interesting. You guys may have had some New Zealand wine. We're big wine producers, so you can learn a little bit how it's made. We have a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at our university, and they have a ton of free programs for students who are enrolled. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see our maker space, which is really cool. So any student can come and use this space whenever they like. You can get training on all of this equipment. We've got like 3D printers and cutters and routers and sewing machines. And, if you want to try out a new idea or create a new product, you can just go for it. And they also have lots of different workshops and programming throughout the semester as well. We offer a lot of support services throughout the university, even though we're a large university. You're well taken care of here. So we have a study abroad team within our international office that looks after students. We also, within each one of our faculties or schools, we also have student support services. We have a great health and counseling center that you're fully covered for by insurance. And then within our dorms, we've got 24-hour resident support as well. So really fully covered and well taken care of in that respect. We've also got a lot of learning and academic support. We've got a great library and learning services team that has workshops, drop-in services. They have a ton of online resources as well for you to look up stuff at your own pace. And then we also have a really good disability services team for anyone with a learning disability or physical impairment, mental health condition, anything, and they can help get you accommodations in the classroom. So our accommodation, we guarantee a spot in our accommodation for all study abroad students, which is really great. So you don't need to worry about finding a place to live. You'll be in a nice community with other students. We mix our international and Kiwi students together, so you're not going to be stuck with just Americans. You'll get to meet some New Zealand students as well as students from all over the world. Um, our residences are really nice. About 95% of them are single rooms, so you get your own room. You don't need to share, and they're either sort of set up in an apartment style or a dormitory style, where it's rooms along in a hall with shared facilities. So they're really good. The cost for those is about, in US dollars, it's about $4,000 per semester for your living costs. So it's not too bad. And you get a free membership to the gym. You get also all the resident support and activities that come with it as well. We have over 240 different clubs at the university. So it's really easy to get involved, to make new friends, to explore your interests or maybe some new interests. At the beginning of every semester, we've got a big clubs expo, so you can go and talk to everyone and explore the different ones. Most of our students will join 2 to 3 clubs per semester. So we've got things like hiking club, snow sports club, dessert club, I guess if you like, I think they do baking and stuff. We've just about everything. I mean, over 240, there's really something for everyone. One of the clubs that we recommend for our students is our Study Abroad Student Society. So we've got University of Auckland students, usually who have been abroad themselves, will just organize lots of events and activities and trips for our study abroad and exchange students. So great way to travel together, and again, just to meet new people. And we offer this at subsidized rates for you guys as well, so it'll be cheaper. We've got lots of different sport and recreation opportunities as well. You can learn to sail. We've got different dance programs, so lots of things to stay active. If any of you are on Instagram, we've got a really active Instagram account, and it's run by students. And I think it's really good to check out to get a feel of what it's like to study with us. So it's studyabroad_Auckland. So yeah, if you're on Instagram, I really recommend checking it out to get a better feel for everything. And that's everything. That's me. So how did I do? Good. So we've got a little over 10 minutes for questions. Great. So yeah, if any of you have any questions, you can just let me know, or you can type them in the chat box.
My question is, because I'm close to hitting the credits that like before I overload at my university here, what is the minimum number of credits that you can take while in Auckland?
The minimum number is 40. Well, it's about 3 classes. Yeah. So
Okay.
minimum is 3 and normal course load is 4. But we have a lot of students that only take 3 classes because they don't need the credits and they want to spend their time traveling.
Okay. And so are those 3 credit classes or like a 4 credit?
So our credit system is different. So our classes have points, and most of our classes are 15 points. So almost all of our classes are worth 15 points. You'll see some that are worth a bit more or less, but mostly they're worth 15 points. So that usually equates to 3 classes, or 45 points is what you need.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any other questions?
Sign me up. I'm ready to go. Oh my gosh, that just looks amazing. Have any of you who are joining us, have any of you been to New Zealand or Australia? No? Oh my gosh.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. For those of you who are joining us, I mean, is anybody going to seriously consider it? It sounds like Alyssa is. What about the rest of you? Yes, no, maybe unsure. Yeah. Sounds fantastic.
Can I actually ask you a quick question? So I definitely am interested in either studying in Australia or New Zealand or around there. I know you might be biased, but what would you say like is the difference? Like I just feel like they're very similar in a sense.
Yeah.
What like differentiates them? Or
in a lot of ways they are similar, but yeah, they are still really different. I mean, it's not like 2 of the same countries. Australia is much bigger. I mean, Australia as a country is nearly the size of, the continental United States, whereas New Zealand's the size of Colorado. So that is just, Australia is huge and it's got a lot more people. The cities are a lot bigger. So, you go to Sydney and it feels like a big city, whereas Auckland is a lot more it's smaller, it's just more relaxed. So definitely the size. And yeah, I think academically they're probably, quite similar. I think New Zealand, I think just its size is one of the best things about it. I think it makes just everything a little bit more relaxed. Everything is so small. You know, you do run into people, you do have weird connections with people here. And I think in a lot of ways, it just maybe makes everybody kind of a little bit friendlier. And you know what I mean? Like it's you can't be nasty to people because you know you might know their cousin or something, you know. So it's just sort of that sense of it being really small, and it's almost like we're a little kind of tight knit community. It is interesting, and especially coming from the States, you know, actually living in a small country where there's just not that many people. So yeah, it's just very relaxed and very friendly. Um, yeah, whereas in Australia, I think it's maybe a bit more similar to the States just because it's more similar in size. Um, and then I guess sort of both are beautiful. Australia and New Zealand are both beautiful. I think it's probably a bit easier to get around New Zealand again, just because of the size. You don't have as far to go, but there's so much space and so many beautiful things to see. So if you know if you like the beaches, if you like mountains, if you like hiking, there's so much to do here. Um, yeah,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
sure.
I have another question.
Hmm.
So I'm in anthropology and a public health double major,
Cool.
and required for here at Augustana, we have to do like research and an internship. Would that be a possibility to do while in Auckland?
Yes, particularly for anthropology. So we have out of our Faculty of Arts, which anthropology sits under that faculty, they offer an internship course. So it's worth 15 points. So it's equivalent to one of your 4 courses. And you could absolutely enroll in that, and they would be able to find you an internship relating to anthropology for sure, possibly even public health. That doesn't sit within their faculty, but you know, that's a bit of a mix of science and social sciences. So, um, yeah, so definitely you can do an internship during your semester. For research, we've got a really cool research program that's offered during our winter, your summer. And again, that's out of the Faculty of Arts. So that would probably again focus on anthropology. But yeah, so that would be during the summer. So you could do, you know, a spring semester and then stay for your research, or vice versa, come a little bit early and do your research and then have a fall semester. So yeah, both are very possible. I'm just gonna pop
Thank
up
you.
our website, and you guys can find more information on the program. And I'm also just trying to get, I've got a sign up form, oops, for more information.
I thought of a question while you do that. I was wondering if you could touch on like how the process is for selecting coursework and trying to ease that transition from coming from a completely different university in a different country and making sure that credits all line up and that you stay on track for graduation requirements back at your home university.
Yeah, and Beth might be able to help with this one a little bit as well, but you know, it's just a process between both schools to get some syllabi and have a look at what you offer at Augustana and see if we offer anything similar, and just get that approval that if you take that course with us, it'll meet your requirement for your degree at Augustana. So yeah, it's a process between both schools. Then on our end as well, when you enroll in courses, a lot of courses have open enrollment, again, particularly in the Faculty of Arts, but other courses, they wanna look at your transcript first and make sure that you've got the right background knowledge to enroll. You know, we don't want you enrolling in, you know, a 300 level physics course if you don't have the knowledge to do well in that course. So we just have a process when you enroll. It usually takes about a week where it's called applying for a concession, and we'll just have an academic advisor look at what you want to enroll in, look at your transcript, and then yeah, they'll either admit you or they might email you and be like, I don't know if this is the right one, but we offer this course and this course, and I think that they'll be a better fit for you. So yeah, that's a process that we have on our end to make sure that, yeah, you're in following the right sort of path with those.
Yep,
Thank
and
you.
on our end, Madison, before you leave, we'll make sure that the classes you are registering to take will transfer back to Augustana. And that will just take a little bit of back and forth with Auckland and with your faculty advisor and chair of the department for the classes that you're transferring in. So that's why we encourage you to apply early, because there is a little bit of a process. It's not difficult. It can just be a little tedious, just to ensure that you'll get credit for the courses you're taking abroad.
I'll put the link to our course catalog here as well. It's like Beth was saying, it's a bit tedious. We're a big university, so we have a lot of courses, so there's a lot of stuff to kind of wade through here, but it can give you an idea of what we offer. So I put a few links in there. The other link I shared, that Google form, is it's a really simple form. If you guys want to receive a little bit more information from us or stay in touch with us, you can just pop your email address on that Google form, and we'll send you a little bit more information about our program.
Great. Any final questions before we wrap up?
So I just wanted to clarify. So before we, not only before we leave to go to New Zealand, but before we actually commit to the program, we would be able to completely solidify what courses we would be taking before we commit to going to the program, so that we know it would all line up.
I think so. On our end, for our academic calendar, we release our academic calendar every year on November 1st, and that's for the whole academic year the following year. So for all of 2021, our academic calendar is coming out in a couple weeks, so on November 1st. So for people that are coming abroad in spring, you've got a little bit you probably won't have that finalized, because like people coming in spring, they can't enroll until November 1st. Once that calendar comes out, you can kind of see what we're likely to offer, but that is a bit of a wait. For coming in fall, usually our students have no problem. By the time they're trying to enroll in courses, they can enroll. And as soon as you're accepted, your application is accepted on our end, you can enroll in your courses. But yeah, we do, a lot of times, you have to commit to the program before that. So we do suggest for students to have, maybe like 6 courses that they want to take, just in case a course is full, or more. The most common issue we have when we do have issues is that 2 courses clash. So, you can't enroll in both of them because they're offered at the same time. So things like that can sometimes happen. So it's always good to have some backups.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? This has been great. Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. We want to thank Julia for taking the time to spend with us as well. Be in touch with her if you have questions through the Google form. If you need more information or want to talk one-on-one with one of our IOP staff members, you can schedule a study away appointment through Handshake, and we're happy to meet with you virtually as well. And then just keep an eye out for emails and the website for more information. November 1st, you can start applying for the 21-22 calendar year. Okay, great. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you all for coming.
Take care.
Bye.